Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Red Pollutants. And today we have with us a very working partner, friend, someone who was in the Department of Forensic Sciences and then paved his way towards sustainability. Look at that smile. Can you please keep the device in the landscape mode?
Hi,
Because I am
just give me a
imagining.
second, Momo. Just give me a second.
Sure, sweetheart. So, rest, he is going to introduce himself. And he's got pretty voice and
Yeah,
pretty
hello.
looking smile.
Hi.
Yeah, can we keep the device in the landscape mode?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. So guys, this is Himanshu, very close friend, dear working partner. And yeah, we've had extensive talks. And the reason why today he is there in the episode of Red Pollutants, I mean, what is a guy doing in the discussion of sustainable menstruation, huh? They say no uterus, no comments, but they play a very important role. So welcome, Himanshu. Thank you so much for the time. और बताओ क्या चल रहा है? How are you doing? Give us your background first for the people who do not know.
Uh, yeah, so first of all, Momo, thank you so much for having me. And it's my first Insta Live. I'm actually a bit nervous also. So
Really?
yeah. So yeah, my name is Himan. What?
It's
You
me.
you've done, dude. You've done this like also lots of other people watching the live session now. So yeah, hi everyone. Hi, good evening. My name is Himanshu, and I am from Delhi. And I recently completed my fellowship in applied ecology and responsible tourism in Ladakh under Mr. Sonam Wangchuk. By education, I'm a botanist and a forensic scientist, and I had this opportunity to meet Momo when we started working together in 2018 with India Hikes. Uh, Momo joined our team, and it was in Darjeeling. We were based in Darjeeling, like Singalila National Park, amazing, beautiful place. And
Oh,
Momo and I, we formed a team, and you know, started working on plastic upcycling. And so, one of the important projects that we picked up was sustainable menstruation. So, like we collaborated with this US based company. They gave it to us for like three to 400 bucks.
yeah.
And in the first
I guess there is some network issue as well. I hope it's not from.
Yeah, sorry, internet's been caused. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was raining of
You're back. We're
yeah.
back.
Yeah,
We were
so
talking
so
about hygiene and
yeah,
you. Hygiene and you, the international organization that was like that gave us cups at three
yeah,
two nine nine. No, three nine nine.
299.
Three
Yeah,
nine
I
nine.
think it was in the same ballpark of
Yeah,
like it was less than 500 bucks, I remember.
yeah.
So in the first phase of project, Momo and Shweta, they were like the green getters, and in the first phase, they did really well. I mean, the Nepali women were so receptive towards accepting this, and I remember on this one particular instance, there was this cool kid who wanted to try out the cup for the first time, and
Supriya.
she was obviously yeah, Supriya. She was very scared to do this, and Momo and Shweta, they were on the call telling her every step on how to, fit in the cup. And it was such a nice experience working together because it was the first time I had no idea about what a menstrual cup is. And thank you, Momo and Shweta, for introducing me to such an amazing product that could be a new face of sustainability for women.
True.
So Yeah.
Tell me now, like now, after staying with Shweta and myself,
Yeah.
it's not going to be an exaggeration if we say that you have done your own research about the cup. We have had talks about the cup beyond India hikes and beyond
Yeah.
cocktails. Of course, that was the start.
Yeah.
We've had so much talk. So I'm sure that you have been talking to other men as well, right? About this. You've been
Yeah.
talking to other young and old men. How is the
Yeah.
response
Yeah.
amongst this male community when you talk about the cups or even menstruation per se?
See, menstruation, like I belong to a very middle class family which holds very conventional values, and this is not something we talk about openly. So, regarding the cups, I mean, I've discussed this project with many people. I had told them, I had mentioned on various instances, like how incidents on how we would work together on menstrual sustainable menstruation, and how the the pads which are really unsustainable for the environment as well as for the women too. So
True.
the general response to like sex education in India is a pretty fucked up concept. Okay, so
सबको पता
like
है
mo-
वो तो
ha so like even I was very surprised to know that when we had this discussion about menstruation with the girls of Darjeeling, in fact the college girls
yes, yes. Pretty faces when they get
completely co-
locked.
com- yeah, completely fair, completely aware about the female anatomy, and same goes with the boys too. So discussion with the like I remember I also purchased a cup from you guys, and because I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
spread the word. So immediately after coming from Darjeeling, I spoke to a number of like female friends of mine. I told them that dude, we did this amazing project, and you know how like I was like taken aback to see how like how beautiful the effects of this cup are, no very hygienic and very eco-friendly and everything. And they told me ki one of the reasons that they don't use the cup is because they're scared to use it. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember this one friend of mine, so I was telling her, "Ki, dude, like, why don't you switch to the company?" She told me that, she discussed this with her mom and her aunt suggested that if she likes to take things inside of her, then maybe it's time for her to get married. So, so like, this is the general perception we have around the cups, and so men like I've spoken to men about it, and they're not very much aware about this whole you know uh, because men too, when their sisters, elder sisters, or even in fact their moms would send them out to buy pads, the shopkeeper would wrap it in a black polythene,
Yeah.
or wrap it completely. So until now, like until we started educating ourselves, everyone considered menstruation to be a fairly taboo topic and something which should like everyone should be ashamed about. So I think this is the reason, and plus capitalism, bro. Like how these people control. So
Let's talk about
yeah,
this a little. Let's
yeah,
talk about
yeah,
we both, I think when we started this off, there was one
mhm,
constant question that we always got. Why is there no
yeah,
advertisement about menstrual cups? Why is
yeah,
it not there in the advertisement? Now, when we open up Instagram and Facebook, there are still
hmm,
lots of privatized ads that we get of quite a number
hmm,
of companies. But when we guys
hmm.
started it off, nothing,
Nothing,
nothing
nothing.
in terms of advertisement. Normal dispensaries out here don't keep it. In Nepal, they do.
Yeah,
In Nepal, medical
yeah,
medical stores have menstrual cups. In India, I don't
no,
know if no like nothing. Why do you think this is the case? Why is there? It is a good product for health, for environment, and
yeah,
it is sustainable. As a consumer, I'm purchasing something for 5 to 10 years at INR what? Max to max
hmm.
1200, highest price
1200, yeah.
1500. I'm purchasing it. Why is it not there in advertisement? Let's talk about the capitalism of
Yeah.
sanitary pads.
So, when I remember going to this chemist shop in Mane Bhanjang, and
Manivanjan.
and he was the one. Sumit was his name, and I remember him telling, menstrual cups are very expensive, and sanitary pad companies don't want us to keep those products in the stock or in the shop, whatever. So I think because a cup which is available for 1,200 bucks, let's say, is able to, it's gonna last for at least like maybe 4 to 5 years minimum.
Yeah, yeah,
And this is like, if this happens on a large scale, it's going to be a huge blowback to the companies like Whisper or Stay Free selling all these sanitary pads. It's going to be a huge monetary loss for them. So, and like this is like no one, like these companies, no one gives a shit about the environment, no one gives a shit about anything. It's only about money for them. Like for instance, what Maggie has been doing, like people romanticize the idea of having Maggie in the mountains,
oh
but with
yes,
no but no one actually cares about what ill effects the Maggie does to the people in the living in the mountains. So so I think the whole advertising or marketing is done in such a way that since pads are so readily available, and whereas menstrual cups are not. So I think they just play with the consumer mind, and then no one like it's a investment, it's a one time investment, but people don't like people don't consider it as a one time investment. For them, like purchasing a 30 rupees pad which is gonna is, I think they consider it way better than putting in
yeah,
1,200 bucks and the issue of inserting it. And most of the women, like I'm pretty sure they are also scared of the fact that they have to insert it inside. Like
yeah.
this is what I perceived when I attended the workshops with you. So I think if we are able to market better, if we are able to sensitize like sex education and tell women how menstrual cups have an edge over the sanitary pads, how they are not only benefit to, like economically more feasible, and also they're more health like they are healthier, like more hygienic and eco-friendly, then I'm sure the tables would turn around in some time.
It's a very important point that you brought up
Yeah,
today, that we need to make menstrual cup more of a mainstream product. Otherwise, it is
yeah,
going to be the pet of single-handed awareness. It's
yeah,
just going to be few people who have used it, few people who are
yeah,
environmentally more cautious or health-wise more cautious,
yeah.
going and talking to other people. If it has to be on, it has to be something at a
Large
mass
scale,
level,
large scale. Yeah.
large scale, then we need to bring this product up.
Hmm.
But then again comes this whole equity of demand and supply. Like more number of companies need to start producing it, the demand also has to go higher. And I love the way you
Yeah.
said this one thing, this thing about Maggie. We people have talked about this so much.
Yeah.
Sepi has amazing production of potatoes, right? We know
Yeah.
how good the potato. मतलब आलू तो सेपी का बस आलू ही है ब्रो, वो अलग लेवल का
Yeah.
टेस्टी वाला आलू है. But even in places like that, Maggie has taken over the whole scenario to such a level that the local
Yeah.
producers of potato get what, 2 or 3 kgs? That's what Nana was telling us, 2 or 3 kgs
Yeah.
for potatoes. If these very potatoes are used for making local chips, sustainable integrated products out there,
Yeah.
then automatically the bargaining power of the laborers out there is going to increase. Plus, no plastic.
Yes.
Plus, I
Yes.
don't understand. मैदा क्यों खाना है? Why
See,
मैदा left
Momo,
out? I still don't get it.
like my past experience in Ladakh says that, if you're talking about like Sepi is like somewhat better, has better connectivity than I've worked in remotest areas of Ladakh, and I've seen people like enjoying Maggie like anything. But it's, I would not also blame it on the people, because marketing has been done in such a way,
Yeah,
something, a food that's very, it's like a what there's a term which is called a food forest, like food which is readily available, but then it's more, it lacks every nutrition. So this is what our cities are becoming. The cities are becoming like food forests. Like food is readily available, you can just buy frozen food, heat it and eat it, but they don't have any nutrition. So I mean, it's how they play with the psychologies, like how the marketing
and
is
we get
done, and
played as well.
we get played as well. Yeah. So I remember because we also had plans to, like when we talked with those two representatives from agriculture department and how
Yeah,
we had planned to
yeah, yeah.
set up this, but unfortunately it didn't work. And
Because
so,
there were
but
hurdles and obstacles back then,
yeah,
lots of
yeah,
things going on. But yeah, tell
yeah.
me, as a man, how difficult does it get to talk about menstrual cups, even a commodity? Leave aside the process of
Hmm.
menstruation and everything. Just to talk about a menstrual cup, is it difficult as a man to talk about it, even with friends and with women in general? Does it get
Yeah.
difficult because of the gender?
Gender, like at my age, gender has never really come,
Mm.
like, has been a hindrance to whenever I want to talk about certain things because I know, because it's also because I know the people I can talk to. I cannot discuss this with my family. I hardly talk about this to my sisters as well. But then there are friends who understand and who have tried this. So I remember this. I have this one friend of mine, Tanya, and I spoke to her that, dude, like this is the scene. Why don't you switch to it? And she said that she's also scared. So immediately like texted Shweta on WhatsApp, like, dude, you guys. I remember you guys showing like some video on how to insert it, and
Mm.
immediately asked Shweta to send me the link, and I forwarded it to Tanya. So I'm sure like it's also like it's like a chain that you convince a friend of yours, and in turn when she's gonna like it, she's gonna convince 10 friends of hers. I think this also works in a certain way. But yeah, again, I also have my limitations when I speak to like people about menstruation, because I also don't have I would not say I have a very vast knowledge about the subject. Even
Mhm.
my knowledge of the subject is limited, and I don't want to ask someone to switch with my half as knowledge you
Very,
know
very true. Very honest and
yeah,
very true. Do you
yeah.
think that we
So
should, do
yeah,
you
yeah,
think that
tell
we
me.
should do more awareness programs with men exclusively, the male gender?
Should be designed especially for the school kids, because
Mm.
the school kids are they are growing up, they need to understand their biology. So I think the first target could be the school kids, and then also it's very important to sensitize like older men as well,
Mm-hmm.
because so I think yeah, I strongly believe that there should be more awareness campaigns for all the genders, whether it's male, female, transgenders, whatever. There should be more awareness campaigns, more reaching out to people, and there should be some sort of helpline or something wherein like people could we need to create a safe space for people wherein people
Mm-hmm.
can ask their doubts, or without having in mind that I cannot ask because a male is present in the workshop, or I cannot ask because a female is present in the workshop. So I think this topic need like sex awareness and sex education needs to be spread amongst all the genders equally,
True, true. Because I
irrespective
guess,
of their ages.
yeah, because I guess
Yeah,
at the end of the day, there's no
yeah,
reason why a male cannot go up to a female and, give ideas about a product which is better. Why? If I talk
yeah,
about exclusively in terms of environment, a female might be using the sanitary pad, but its effect is on every human being, every animal, and every species
yeah.
altogether. The incineration, the burning, the dumping of all of it,
Hmm.
the effect of it is as much on a male as it is on a female. So a man absolutely has the right to at least
Yeah,
advise about, not force, not compel. It is always the choice of the bearer,
yeah,
whether it is of a shoe or of a cup. It is always the desire of the bearer. But a man can
yeah,
always go and give better options.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Um, tell us a little more about Ladakh. How was the experience?
So in Ladakh, I spoke to a friend of mine, and so she is a teacher at Sekmol. Sekmol is one of the
Mhm.
schools which is run by Sonam Wangchuk, and she's a teacher. I told her that well, I also told her about this project, and I told her that is it possible for you to take awareness workshops on sustainable menstruation. And to my surprise, she told me that her school, like she and together with the school teacher, she's been trying to introduce menstrual cups for the past 2 years, but she
Wow.
hasn't seen any success at all. It's because the girls are too scared and
Mm-hmm.
they are not very receptive, because
Mm-hmm.
it's an alien thing. Like you cannot just go to a, like, for a person who doesn't understand the body properly, for the person who is suppressed sexually, like sex education is not something these people talk in the open. And then one day you go and tell a dude, like, insert this thing and it's very harm friendly for the environment. So you
They
need
were
to build a
freaking
proper
out.
yeah, they're gonna freak out every, like, yeah. So I think we, first of all, it's very important to create a safe space to talk about sex, to talk about
Yeah.
body changes, to talk about changes with sex secondary sexual characters which develop during the puberty. So in Ladakh, and now there are a couple of women who are running an NGO which is focused on talking about menstruation and talking about sex
Mm-hmm.
education. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not very sure about what their success rate is and how receptive the audience has been.
At
But
least they're
yeah,
trying.
a lot of work's been happening on the ground. Yeah.
Tell me, we have been together in the whole Singalila region. You have been in
Yeah. Yeah.
Ladakh. You have been a traveler. You
Yeah.
have been to an nth number of places. Tell me,
Yeah.
how was that? The whole side of Sepi, Ramam, Rimbik, they were so receptive. And somewhere down the
Yeah.
line, it's the same even in the northeastern zone. When I've worked in the northeastern
Yeah.
zone, people were receptive about it. But again, in
Yeah.
places like Ladakh, in the same, when I was working in Uttarakhand, it was difficult for me. It was very difficult for me
Yeah.
in Uttarakhand. So, do you think somewhere down the line, the cultural background and the way the woman perceives her body, it really, really
Yeah.
has an effect on whether to even think, let aside use, to even think about watching a video about what is a menstrual cup, the
See,
benefits, the pros and cons, and all.
yeah, the societies of northern India are extremely patriarchal societies, and sex is not something that women must enjoy. It's something just like it's
Yeah,
only meant for reproduction.
yeah.
And uh, I was working in 2017 also with Index in Manali, and I spoke to Lakshmi
Mm-hmm,
about it. Like, dude, like I asked Lakshmi if there is it's possible to have a female on board, because I would want someone to talk about the sanitary waste, because that Lakshmi
mm-hmm,
also wanted to run a similar project. And then unfortunately in 2017 it didn't happen. And then in 2018 also I spoke to Lakshmi, like, Lakshmi, now is it possible for us to have a female GT employee who can talk about like sanitary waste, or how to deal with sanitary waste, because we cannot upcycle it, and
yeah.
we cannot recycle it. So the only option for us was to either burn it or like throw it in the landfills. So that's when Lakshmi told me that there's this one GT, Momita, who would be coming, and I knew, like, I have to take you to Sepi. So,
Safety was
uh,
bliss. We
say,
enjoyed going
yeah,
to safety. We
yeah.
loved safety.
And the good thing was that women, I think one of the reasons we were also able to break down the barrier was because of local support, was because of Angela.
A lot. Nana was a
Angela first,
huge support.
yeah. So Angela first started using the cup, and then she was able to convince people that she's been using this cup for the past few days, and how she's able to do all the farm work and do, like literally do everything while she was on her
Yeah,
periods.
yeah,
So I think
yeah.
this, gaining a local support also, I feel, is it's very important when it comes to
Very important.
running
I
such
completely
awareness
agree.
campaigns. Yeah,
I
yeah.
completely agree. To have one local
Our,
person that the people can trust
yeah,
really
yeah.
matters.
Because an outsider will be an outsider, no matter how
True.
close people think that they are. But they'll also have this dilemma of trusting someone who does not belong to the community, and who does not, like Angela. I'm sure she's able to think from their perspective too. Whereas you and I, we've lived our lives in urban spaces, and we cannot always connect with rural women or uh, or with the people of different communities. So I think uh, you know garnering to like a local support is also like it's the must for such awareness campaigns. That's why I think
Especially if you're taking it to the rural
yeah,
areas, it's a must.
yeah,
It's a must.
our project was not very successful towards like in Jawhari and Mane Banjang than it was in Sepi and Ramam and all those villages.
Plus, I
So
guess in
yeah.
Jobari we didn't get much time
Hmm.
also, Himanshu. We didn't get much time in Jobari because Jobari was more
Yeah,
towards administrative and logistic work. The
yeah,
whole segregation unit being created, uh,
yeah,
commendable work that you guys have done out there.
yeah,
Shiva,
yeah,
you
yeah,
worked your asses off to get the whole
yeah,
segregation unit, and it was a Sarvajanic segregation unit that was created in Jobari. So Jobari was more about the logistical work and everything, and Sepi was more about
yeah,
projects and new projects coming up. And Anjala was there,
yeah,
huge support. Even Coco Ali,
yeah,
her mom, she's a darling of a woman. What
yeah,
influential
yeah,
woman she was.
yeah,
Do
yeah,
you somewhere down the line, I also feel it also matters how you raise the awareness. At times,
yeah,
from a personal experience, I've seen when women talk about cups, no,
yeah,
they make it so serious that it gets scary.
yeah,
Even I get scared.
yeah,
मैं खुद डर
yeah,
जाती हूँ with this straight
yeah,
face. I have nothing against being serious about it. Everyone has a different approach. But
yeah,
from a receiver's
yeah.
point of view, when I sit and I'm like, ये सच्ची में डरा रही है.
Yeah,
Actually,
so
it's very
yeah,
scary. There needs to be humor.
so
Without humor, you cannot
yeah,
make people
exactly,
gel
yeah,
into something.
yeah.
You
And
got
this
to
is I think
laugh about it.
what we all try to include in our workshops. I because when I would used to take workshops with the kids, I would make them play a few games to have that level of comfort with them. And
Yeah,
I attended a workshop with you guys when the BDO of Sukhia organized a workshop.
workshop.
And yeah, and so I remember how you would talk कि आपको पता है आपकी बॉडी में कितने छेद हैं.
This was
So I
your
think
patent line.
yeah,
क्या आपको पता
so
है कि आपके
people,
बॉडी पे कितने
हाँ,
छेद हैं?
so people always tend to make such things very technical, whereas I think that environment, like caring for environment, should not be a rocket science. It should
True,
be as
very
simple
true.
as like minor changes in your daily life, and you can create a whole lot of impact. But then there are so many people tend to associate so many technicalities with the things, no, which is also a barrier when it comes to raising awareness, especially in rural spaces. Like I'm sure even in urban spaces, most people still don't want to talk about sex openly.
Mm-hmm.
So that those technicalities need to disappear, and it has to be more user friendly, easier to understand, and yeah, and more humorous.
It needs to. I mean,
It should
we
never
need
get
to
too serious.
understand.
Yeah.
We need to understand
Yeah,
that women are already scared. The moment you say that you're
yeah,
going to put a foreign object inside your
yeah,
vagina, they are scared. On top of
exactly.
that, if you
Yeah,
have a straight face with all technicalities and scientific terms, which needs to be there, but in the books and for your personal study, so that tomorrow, if
yeah,
questions come up, you know the answer. But when you are
yeah,
in a very in a zone where women have no idea about the product, you're asking them to put something inside their body, you're asking them to leave sanitary pads or cloth that they have been using
exactly.
for eons. You
Yeah.
can't be all serious. I mean, मामला तो ऐसे ही serious है ना. तब तो बात ही
हाँ.
ना हो जाएगा.
हाँ. Plus, so also one of the important things that I really liked about your workshops was that, you know, so I was speaking to one of my friends about sustainable menstruation, and she also works for an NGO which provides like which is working on sex education, and she told me that in the rural spaces which are extremely patriarchal, women, not many policies are made for the betterment of women. And then one day people from the cities, they go and tell the women that, dude, like your period blood is creating menace in the environment, and this makes them feel bad about themselves, bad for having periods, which is basic biology. So one of the important things, one of the things that I liked about the workshop was that we never told them women कि आपकी वजह से कचरा हो रहा है. We just told them कि this is the cup, this is the pad, and this is like one time investment. In the long run, we made the
Exactly.
calculations. We told them कि आपका ही फायदा है, and then we provided them with research which says that menstrual cups are better. And then the last one was environment कि आप करोगे तो थोड़ा सा environment को भी फायदा पहुंचेगा, because to be honest, if you're not an environmentalist, you don't give a shit about environment.
Why should you? I mean,
Yeah.
people are struggling with this
Huh.
everyday battle. And plus,
Every day, because
even the moment you tell them about this,
the whole system
they'll
is
find it,
designed to
they'll
keep
find
people
guilty of having
occupied
periods.
with yeah. Plus the whole system is designed to keep a person busy with like earning roti kapda and makan, that he totally forgets about his surroundings or his or the environment. So I think environment should be the last factor that should be weighed in, and it should not be कि आपकी वजह से कचरा हो रहा है, but the narrative should be built around a positive note rather than a negative one. The narrative of the
Maybe
workshop.
start with something where they will feel good, that great, I'll be able
Yeah,
to save a lot of money.
yeah,
Good, I'm going to feel
yeah,
healthier. And along with
yeah.
that, I'll be able to stop
Say,
things going into the landfill.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I agree because, to make something work, we as
Hmm.
species have become so selfish. To make something work,
Yeah,
we need to give them personal profit.
yeah,
It sounds very good ideologically, saying
yeah,
that you need to be hardcore about this, and maybe for people like you and I it comes very logical. Why won't you
yeah,
keep this earth
yeah,
that gives you everything nice and clean?
yeah.
But for someone, even example of Sepi, for someone who would have to walk down 4 or 5 kilometers to get daily groceries, their priority is
Environment
environment.
would be the last of their concerns. Yeah.
पेट पे जब
I
बात
like.
आती है तब एनवायरमेंट नहीं आता है
Huh,
पास में.
huh. I am pretty sure all of us have been in similar situations, like wherein we would just want to get that thing without care. Like I remember when I was in college, I didn't give a shit about environment. I wanted to buy new clothes, but now that I'm aware about how fast fashion destroys the
Yeah,
environment, I have automatically like trying to be more sustainable in my practices. So
it took us
yeah,
time also, right?
yeah, yeah,
It took us time. I mean, we did not become so proactive in it right away.
yeah,
Plus, माशाल्लाह
yeah.
स्कूल तो बहुत मतलब बहुत कुछ सिखा देता है ना हम लोग को. Because for us,
Uh,
environment education, end of it.
yeah,
End of discussion of environment. Last chapter of environment education is where you stop studying about environment.
yeah,
पास हो
yeah.
गया, grade मिल गया, खत्म. So कहाँ
Yeah.
हम में भी इतना awareness था?
वही
We
कि
also didn't know
environment
about
is environment is not something that you teach in the books, okay? It's a
you cannot.
practical subject. Like for God's sake, fucking stop teaching kids. Like fucking take
Exactly.
exams for the environmental science. Like what do
And
kids write in
instead of
then?
that, isn't it better that you make the
Uh,
kids plant one sapling, take them
huh,
out, take them out for a small, tiny trek and make them clean?
yeah,
They will
yeah,
automatically get the
exactly.
ground reality. How
Yeah.
much? I remember something
So,
that you
huh,
always said. You
yeah.
need to go for a cleanup to have a reality check.
So
You
this is
cannot
this
just
is
talk
what
about it.
this is the reason we organized the community cleanups when I was in CP, or when we did a community cleanup in Manimanjang as well, was to give the figures don't hit people very hard. I tell them कि देखो सेपी में 5,000, like let's say 5,000 kg waste is generated every day. Like 5 tons of waste is being generated every day in this region. People don't understand it. We were like fuck this shit, dude. Why should I
क्या
care?
बोल
But
रहे
when
हैं,
the
क्या बोल रहे हैं?
हाँ क्यों बोल रहा है और ये like why the fuck, like people came to me and like तुम दिल्ली का क्यों कचरा साफ नहीं करते like
Exactly.
हाँ
अपना
हाँ
जगह पे काम
हाँ
करो ना.
हाँ. So like कि दिल्ली में तो वो पूरा कचरे का पहाड़ बना हुआ है, and why the fuck don't you go and work in Delhi? So मेरे पास आंसर भी नहीं था, because चलो नहीं यार, आई एम नॉट वर्किंग इन दिल्ली, ठीक है. Oh shit. Let me
Okay.
just. There's no. Could you just
Hold
hold
on.
on for a minute? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure, we can hold on. By that
Yeah.
time, I'll
Yeah.
brush
Just give
my
me a
hair,
second.
I'll look at my friends,
Yeah.
I'll do something to keep the audience entertained, like dance.
Light, light.
लाइट चली गई.
Yeah. There's. Today it's like I
It's
recently
me.
shifted to another
It's
room.
me.
Yeah.
No, no, it's me. Whenever something is associated with me, कुछ ना कुछ घपला होएगा ही होएगा.
Yeah.
तू तो अभी भी गोरा चिट्टा है, अंधेरे में भी दिख रहा है. Yeah, I think we can see you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just saying one of the things that we did was to give students a reality check. I remember when we did a cleanup with that school in Rimbik, within 45 minutes the students were able to collect almost 400 kilograms of waste, and that's when they told us ki they never realized ki this small village, which consists of only 300 to 400 people, can generate this much amount of waste in such a limited time. So that's a really hard hitting practice, or a hard hitting fact that people when they partake in such activities.
You need to get
Yeah.
into the dirt to clean the dirt, no?
Yeah.
You cannot just give facts and
Yeah.
figures. It's in the same. I mean, environmental education can give you a degree, but to clean it, you got to get into the dump yard.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Like Gandhi, or I don't know like who the fuck said it, but like घर की गंदगी साफ करने के लिए झाड़ू तो उठाना ही पड़ता है.
उठाना ही पड़ता है. और हमारा
हाँ.
तो
So,
एटीट्यूड भी अच्छा है ना, हम कभी कभी झाड़ू उठा के घर का गंदगी साफ करके पास वाले घर में डाल
हाँ.
देते हैं. दैट इज आवर एटीट्यूड
Yeah.
टुवर्ड्स लैंडफिल, नो, इन द सिटीज.
Yeah.
हमें दिखता नहीं है तो कहा जाता है लैंडफिल में, लैंडफिल
हाँ.
से कहा जाता है पता नहीं.
This is why I think Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is the biggest hoax, because for people associate cleanliness only with littering. You see something on the road, you throw it in the dustbin, and that's it. It's done. People don't know, like, real problem starts when you throw it after, when you put it in the dustbin. Like, where what does happen after it goes into the bin? Like, no one has idea about what happens next.
Fact on the screen, don't make it sound that way. uh Mr. Charlie, can you just elaborate on what are you
No,
intending to say, because I'm a little confused.
that's Tanya,
Hey,
and she's a
Tanya.
friend.
I think she just advocated to what you said, that only when things
Yeah.
happen on a community level and taken up a mass responsibility, that is when, and people actually dig their hands dirty. That's when a mass change is, going to happen. I love the orientation of the screen now. I am like this. Dua is like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to
Uh,
read.
I think before that there was a comment right
Hmm,
before that, which she
hmm,
said, it's only then we will realize how exactly dirty it was. So,
hmm.
yeah, we agree. We need to get our hands dirty to understand how actually dirty a place is.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
true. And is there anything before we wind this up? Is there anything that you want to tell the audience who is hearing this about sustainable menstruation, about pollution, environment, nature, anything, anything?
For sustainable menstruation, I think people watching this video who are still there, hi Tanya. If you're still there, I remember Tanya was the friend I was talking to you about, that how
Mhm.
she wanted to switch to the cups, and I sent her a video that you guys used to show in your workshop. So if any one of you, if any ladies out there want to have, are thinking of switching to menstrual cups and don't know which brand to go for or how do you go about it, like the entire process, then feel free to hit green ammo. Please like, share, and subscribe. Like and share, not subscribe. I'm used to the YouTube wala thing, but please like and share,
We
like,
do have a
follow,
YouTube
and
channel. You
share.
can subscribe there if you want.
Yeah. So please follow Momo. She's been doing amazing work in the field of sustainability, and like she also has these podcasts on Spotify as well as similar Insta lives. So make sure you follow Green Ammo page, and please hit Momo whenever you need any help regarding the menstruation. I'm sure she'll be more
Anytime.
than willing. Yeah,
Anytime. It is
she
absolutely
is the
an
most,
honor
yeah, yeah, she's the most
to help
approachable
someone,
person I've
right?
ever met in my life. Yeah, like she'll be more, I'm sure she'll be more approachable than your parents themselves.
Oh,
So
yes.
please hit Momo,
I'm all up for
and
sustainable
yeah,
menstruation.
yeah,
If there is any time you want to discuss
yeah,
about safe sexual behavior, menstruation,
yeah,
your body, how to do, what to use, why to use,
yeah,
anytime, my number is there on the Facebook page. Number is there. If you know Himanshu, he has my number. Any time of the day, contact me. It is an honor. It is not a help. It is an honor for me to just give certain clarities, and maybe in the same run, I'll get to learn something from you all.
yeah. So my friend Ravi has posted a question that, don't you think because of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan people became aware about the issue of sanitation? I mean, people certainly did become aware of the sanitation, to have more toilets built inside the homes. But then again, how sustainable are these toilets? That also needs to be addressed, because we are addressing a very superficial problem, and we are not, sustainability cannot be achieved in this way. Because I remember, because when I in Ladakh, for instance, we have these dry toilets, and because of the whole westernization, the new like the toilets which we have, the flush down toilets are coming up, and these toilets are not sustainable, neither for the environment and not for like, even considering the health benefits, they're not very good for human use.
Yes, we agree that awareness will not give you any fruitful consequence if it does not push you to take an action. But then again,
Action, yeah,
there is something called self-enlightenment, right? Maybe
yeah,
for once we can, people out here, if you have joined this, maybe for once we can think about better health. And at least, let me just give you one small idea. How much money do we spend on food, one-time consumption, on a jacket, on a pant? All we are asking is watch certain videos that is not going to cost you anything. Perhaps even buy a menstrual cup and just try it once. Just try it once. For once, maybe we can think a little outside our comfort, because I know it is not a very easygoing matter. Maybe once we can just think outside the box and just try it once. Uh, who knows? It could change your life, because I know more than 300 women personally whose lives have been changed.
yeah.
For me, it's been years. It's been years. For Shweta, it's been years. For Himanshu, it's been years tolerating the two of us speaking about cups again and again and again and again.
No, actually, I
We
have a
literally,
cup for myself.
yes,
Yeah.
Himanshu is a man who bought a cup so
Yeah.
that he could raise awareness. If being a man, he could do that, maybe being a woman, we can be a little more responsible and try not to send things into the landfill. And the trial starts with taking action, which begins with you first.
Yeah.
So maybe we can all begin with the action from ourselves. There are enough number of videos and open discussions that are today happening in terms of what are the good cups, why a cup should be used. If those are not enough, my number is there. Call me. I don't vouch that I'm going to change your mentality, but I can always try.
Yeah. So Asta has also joined the live, and she runs a small organization
Mhm.
which aims at talking about sexual health. So even she's been doing some
Perfect.
amazing work in the field of sex education and sexual hygiene and everything, female hygiene, menstrual hygiene.
Very important. Asta, we want to congratulate you for the good work that you're doing, because it is very important to not just
Yeah.
know, but also understand your own body. Yes, but we need initiative like this to create awareness. People need to make them aware of this. correction is definitely required, but in a country like India, awareness is required. Yes. So let us join hands of
Yeah,
awareness and action. We people will do the awareness, you people will take the action, and then you will be the torchbearer and do the awareness ahead. Pay it forward,
yeah.
right? That is how it works. And it doesn't just
And
have
not
to be about cups, it can be about anything.
and not just awareness. I think awareness is the first step that you can take towards sustainability. Like after awareness, you can just start small, okay? Like changes that you can make in your daily life, and then maybe pressure, like in the long run, maybe pressurizing the government, start talking to your local leaders about the sustainability practices that you can adopt living in a community. So I think, but awareness is the first step towards something big.
If you don't give people an idea that there is an
Yeah,
option, how will they
yeah,
choose the option?
yeah,
When we were young, we were given an option that it's okay if you don't like an apple, it is fine. You have something called a jackfruit or an orange. Here we need to tell women that it is okay. I know you have issues using sanitary pads. There is rashes, it is gooey, it is uncomfortable, cannot take a bath, cannot swim, cannot trek. But there is an
yeah.
option. There is menstrual cups. Awareness is that option that we give. Whether you choose that option or not, a little self homework is also to be done, I guess. As citizens and as consumers of resources, we don't think much. So maybe as sustainable resource holders, we also should think a little less and study a little more and maybe imbibe those things into our life. Little changes, as Himanshu said. It's okay. Don't take a straw while having lassi. Glass से भी पिया जा सकता है. कोई नहीं. It is okay.
Yeah.
और how is the weather of Delhi? गर्मी कैसी है? ना कि अभी हवा
Do
चल
it
रहा है.
it uh, अभी थोड़ा सा बारिश हुआ थोड़ी देर पहले, otherwise like like it's been such a long time after, like I remember the last time I spent summers was in 2016 in Delhi, and now after almost 3 years
Lockdown,
I'm
bro,
here again, and it's
lockdown.
yeah, yeah. So
Well, let us hope that the lockdown gets
yeah,
unlocked very soon. Himanshu, it will be obviously an honor to work with you again. Spend those amazing
yeah, sure,
time laughing, singing, dancing,
yeah,
doing all our goofy stuffs together at the same time, working
yeah.
100% with the same tenacity and dedication. The best part about working with Himanshu is we divide the day. Half day we will do whatever we want to do, we will enjoy the life we want to, and the greater half of the day when we work, 200% we would work. It would be an honor to work with you again. Keep spreading the good work, keep doing the amazing work that you're doing, keep being the man who talks about menstrual cup and roams about with a menstrual cup, because I think you are an inspiration for other males as well. It is time that we all talk about it, not just because it is a female problem, but the repercussions of the problem as as a fellow gender should be your concern as well, in terms of a woman's health, in terms of an environment whose feeders we all are, and also in terms of economy. It is time that we all talk about it. And Himanshu, please keep doing the good work. And we are paused.
But anyway, Momo, thank you so much for having me,
No,
and it was indeed a very good discussion. And I'm
it is
looking
always
forward to
amazing
working
to talk
to,
to you.
yeah, and I'm always looking forward to working together with you guys very soon. Hope this like ends soon enough, and we can get out on the fields and start working together.
Yeah,
And
true, true. We will, honey,
yeah,
very, very soon. We will,
yeah,
we will work together and we will have fun together and we will talk
yeah.
more about क्या आपको पता है कि आपके body में कितने छेद हैं?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Thank you so much, Himanshu, for the
Yeah.
time. It is
Yeah.
very, very
Thank you,
supportive,
Momo.
even
Thank you.
for us, to have a talk from the other side. Okay.
Okay.
There is one last question that we would take,
Yeah.
because it is always nice to have someone asking. So I definitely agree with you that we need to pressurize. Yes.
Uh, yeah, Ravi,
One at a
I
time.
definitely, yeah, I'll answer him. So Ravi, I think there is a very strong need to pressurize the government into policy making that are more sustainable and not working on a very superficial level. But at the same time, I think it's also an individual's responsibility to spread the word. because the more awareness we are able to create, the more pressure will be able to put it on the government. Because unless and until we start talking about things that matter to us, like what happened, like that's how you lead mass campaigns. Like what happened with RA Forest is that the government ultimately had to back out because the word spread out like fire. And I'm sure like sustainable development similar needs a similar activism, and it can only be achieved when we as individuals start spreading the awareness, start, you know, understand our own responsibilities.
True. I hope that we could cater to all of your questions. I had an amazing time. Thank you so much for your time. And we want to have you again and again on subsequent sessions, be that for this or the area of social media awareness and discussions and open group discussions that we are doing. Keep doing the good work,
Yeah,
Himanshu. Give our pranam namaste to everyone back home. We hope we all are safe
yeah,
and we all get to go outside the whole lockdown phase and get into
yeah,
the field and do our active work
yeah.
very soon. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for
thank
joining in. Thank you
thank
for
you,
the
Momo.
questions. And
Bye.
like, share, not just in
And
terms of buttons, but also in terms of ideas. Thank you.
yeah, thank you, thank you, bye.